Okay. Let's see if she can see us. Who's on here? She's supposed to be on my live. How do I get somebody on here? Guests. Invite a guest. Oh, invite a guest. Hold on just a moment. Let me send this to her. She just realized. Okay, I'm back on. Okay, it didn't stop streaming. See if this works. I hope she doesn't have to. See if I can click on it and see how this works. What the hell? Oh, I see my live. She says she can't join. Okay. Oh, thank you, Gloria. Okay, I see that I'm live, but let me see how I can get. Let me see how I can get her on here. Okay. Thank you, Gloria. Okay, I see that I'm live, but let me see how I can. It says to get a guest on here. Oh, there she goes. Add to stream. There, yes, yay!
Yeah, I look so crazy on here, bro.
No, you don't. Okay. Woo, I'm glad we got that. Woo, yes,
Can you hear the music?
I can hear it.
This is my sister.
When did you start making music?
Like a couple of years ago.
What?
Nah, but I was like, I was vibing to this.
Okay. Oh, I like this, girl. Girl. This also do to this StreamYard stuff. Set
It's cool.
destinations. You don't get comment. Broadcast info. Okay, so we got that.
So it's on Facebook too.
It's on Facebook too.
Did you tag me? Where did you go? Whoa.
Okay, I'm back.
What happened?
I jumped out and didn't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah. I
Gotta
like
stay
this. I
woke.
like how we doing this. Okay.
Huh?
I like how we doing this.
Okay, let
Yeah.
me come off the music. Come
Yeah.
again, say what?
I said I like how we doing this because it's got a side by side. I hope the audio is good when I finally download it. Because you said you had ordered a microphone for your live.
Actually, no. What I got was I have a mic because when I used to do the podcast with the guy, he actually ordered a mic. So I do have a recording mic, but I don't use that for this. I just use my Bluetooth.
Yeah, because I
I
saw
still
something
got
on
music in my head.
Amazon, a little recording mic where you can stick it in the bottom of the type of phone that you have. It's compatible with the type of phone that you have, but you can stick it in the bottom of the mic and you can clip it on to like I can clip it up onto my clothes, your clothes, whatever, and it'll just amplify your sound. So we'll see how this sounds after this. Okay, so what are you drinking tonight?
I'm having wine. It's some type of Moscato. It's a big glass too. I was like, we gonna need it for the topics we got tonight, boy.
Girl, oh my God. Okay, so I have wine too, but I have
Pause.
this. What
I
happened? What
was
happened?
like, where's the phone at? I want to share the member. I don't think you tagged me in the live, so I want to share your live. It's public, right? My
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, let me make sure.
Let me say,
I thought-
I can see me. Let me turn it off because it's gonna sound annoying in the background. I just wanted
Edit
to see how I
privacy.
look
Yep, it's
watching
public.
myself.
It's public.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, once I share this, we're gonna get into the rundown of the topics. So, and what's up? Anything new? Anything new for you? No?
That was gonna go at the end of the video. That was gonna go at the end of the live.
Okay, you're so organized. Unlike me, I be all over the place. You're like, no, you gonna wait till later. Okay, all right. Oh, you know what I was supposed to do? But yeah, man, there was a lot going on. A
Okay,
lot going on
so
with this
I like
protesting
this
stuff.
platform because I can see it on Facebook and then I can see us. Oh my God. Ooh, we big
But it's
time.
weird because I see myself like twice. It's like a little one, and then it's like the side by side with me and you.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that, and then we're gonna tag some people. You know what I
Yeah, we
mean?
can. They already started with the damn fireworks.
Yo, what is up with the fireworks? Coincidentally, in every state in the United States, fireworks is going off every night ever since the protesting started. But you know what? There's a lot of conspiracy theories about that. But I'm like,
Yeah, because a lot of people, especially up in New York, they're saying it's the cops. They're saying it's just a lot.
okay. All right, so for everyone who is tuned in currently, wait, before I do this, were you able to get this to share to YouTube too?
Huh?
This is going to
No,
be on
actually, you
YouTube
have
too?
to pay because we're Darian. Because it sounds like somebody's knocking on the door, but then it sounds like somebody's knocking on um on our door. Um,
You
what was
said
I
there will be
saying?
a subscription that you would have to pay for basically. But you can
Yeah,
save it, right? You
huh?
can save it and then upload it though, right?
Yeah, because it'll be
Okay.
on Facebook, so I can just download it the same way and then upload it on YouTube. So the next step is to go live on. I wish we could go live on Instagram, but they don't have that. Yeah,
They don't have filters on here, do they?
you know what? I don't see any options for filters. I see
That's the worst
cam.
thing.
Oh, okay. So I can turn my camera on or off. Okay, okay.
Okay. So we don't
Oh,
even have to show our faces anymore.
was somebody at the door? Okay. Okay, so yeah.
All right, ready? All right,
Yeah.
so thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're finally going to get to the regular scheduled program. So, welcome to Peaches and
Mhm.
Dream. So, she's Peaches and I'm Dream. And
Yeah.
today we're going to be touching base on some touchy topics. So, one of them being is the Simone B situation with the LGBT community. So, we're going to talk
Why you
about
call her
that.
Simone B?
I don't know. What do you guys call her?
Her name is B Simone. Why you being
B.
messy?
Simone. Sorry. First of all, hold on. Hold on. Pause. I don't know why I call her Simone B. The thing is that I know of her, but she's not somebody that I follow like that. Like I keep hearing about she basically plagiarized a book. Like she used other people's stuff in her book. That's the same person, right?
Yeah, that's the same
But
person.
B. Simone. Okay, my bad. B. Simone. I don't know. Simone just sounds more of the. I don't know. My bad, y'all. Don't roast me for messing that up. Um, it's crazy because I'm reading from what I wrote.
Oh wow.
Hold on, sorry. Let me show people so they don't think I'm making this up. So I'm reading it because it's a lot, and I be trying not to mess stuff up. But if I wrote it down wrong, then hey, I did write Simone B. And the LGBTQ thing. We're also going to be talking about Will Smith, Jada, and August Alsina.
You know what? That ties
Um,
into the Shane Dawson shit too.
the who?
Okay, so yeah, we got to get into that.
No, you gonna tell me about it. Like you be bringing up stuff, but I'm like, you the one who came up with like all of this stuff. So, oh yeah, New York, they are adding 8 more states to their travel advisory. Um, Also, some changes to New Yorkers losing their benefits if they travel to like basically if they travel to Florida, Texas, and other states with high COVID-19 infection rates. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about the controversy around wearing masks and whether or not it basically interferes with your oxygen levels, because a lot of people feels like it
Mhm.
does.
Mhm.
And then you're gonna cover celebrity birthdays since you know all the celebrities and all that.
I know two of the celebrities that you brought up, girl. No. Oh, my wine. I forgot. Okay, so I have a white Zinfandel from Oak Leaf. See if I can get this.
I see. That's crazy because I think my sister has that in the fridge. Is it sweet?
I haven't had a white Zinfandel in a minute, so let me try it. See
It's
how
weird because I love
feel like
sweet
that
stuff. Like
glass.
it's horrible.
Mm-hmm. It's good and
It's
sweet.
horrible. Oh yeah, and the last thing we're going to be talking about is Kobe's docu-series. So stay in for the information on how you're going to be able to tune into that. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. All right, so you ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
So we're going to talk about B. Simone, right?
Yo,
So
I
you
saw
go
Twitter.
ahead and you. So
They
this
was
is what
calling
I
her.
got from the situation. There was an old recording of something where she called someone a quote unquote, and no disrespect. Oh, you have to put a disclaimer. I don't have anything about against the LGBTQ community, nothing against them, and we're not going to use any of like this is not to offend anyone, but she said the word tranny when the basically just not just referencing a situation in which she referred to transgenders as. So they're saying that the word tranny is like basically, I don't know, I don't want to exaggerate, but similar to calling like a black person the N-word. Like they're saying it's rude and it's disrespectful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the understanding of the argument?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure we was on the same page. So what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't know that was a bad word because I used to watch Noah's Ark when it was on television on
Hmm.
Logo. And Noah's Ark is about I think it's like five gay black male friends, kind of like a living single for black males, of course,
Okay.
because it's on the Logo channel. So I heard the word going off in that series. So I didn't know that it was offensive to say that. So I got a whiff of um of the political correctness when this was years ago. Issa Rae, she had her web series Awkward Black Girl,
Hmm.
and it was the situation where her boyfriend had an ex or somebody walk up to them and speak to him, but he didn't introduce her. And she's black, he's white, and then the other girl's white. So she was like, so when she was telling her friend about it, Issa Rae, she was like, I felt like Missy Elliott standing next to Angelina Jolie. So the frame says, tranny bitch in heels. So, yeah, mind you, this is 2012. 2012. This is so long ago. So she says that, and I had no idea until, well, a year after that, that Issa Rae had gotten flack for the word tranny. I'm like, well, when did it become
A bad
horrible?
word.
Yeah, because I hear I heard a lot of people from the LGBT from that community say it years ago. And then she said it on her web series. And then, she had to apologize and all this mess. And I was like, well, okay, so at one time it was okay, but who decided that it wasn't okay?
Right. Now, here's the deeper issue. Are you finished? Because I'm about to go up. I'm about to go. Hold on. Let me take a sip of wine. You done? You done?
Go ahead, go ahead. Mhm.
Okay. So here's one of the things that what was it? Nick at Night, the YouTuber. Nick
Yes.
at Night. One of the things she pointed out is that it's a situation where you have a lot of people that are like transgender, and then they'll call natural born woman fish. And we don't like it. And even though we don't like it, the attitude that they have about it is, so what, bitch? I'ma still call you a fish when I feel like it. And they're unapologetic about it. But then when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to using, like, for example, like I said, the F word, faggot, right? When it comes to
Ooh.
using that, or when it comes to using tranny, they get offended by it. But my thing is that at the end of the day, okay, when it comes down to the N word is known that people actually called us this out of disrespect, and then they wanted to literally catch a nigga, hang a nigga type stuff. So it really is where our life was on the line. Calling people a faggot is like that came from, people trying to diss people that was like boys that were girly. That was immediately the diss word that they would use. It's a situation where even when I'm sure when I've seen like, transgenders and gays get mad at each other and they'll call each other the same stuff they don't want people calling them. Like that's the part that makes no sense to me. And it's not only in the LGBTQ community. I see it, and I see us black people do it. That's why I said I'm about to go off, because at the end of the day, it's like we all need to change, like in general. I don't really feel like I do it personally, but there's black people that'll sit there and they'll see a white person, and before the white person disrespects them, they just because the person is white. And I understand that people have 400 years of anger in them because of what was done, but they'll see a white person, they'll be like trailer trash, cracker this, cracker that. Like, you can't be disrespecting people, and then when they disrespect you back, you want to cry wolf. You do not do that. Or if at the end of the day, that's part of the issue, but another part of the issue is that you need to treat people how you want to be treated. Like, people be out there disrespecting people back and forth, and then that's why things always escalate unnecessarily. And then another problem we have, which is the biggest problem, is that if me and you in an argument and I say, okay, you tranny ass bitch, why the whole gay community coming after me as if I called them all specifically and individually that word? You understand? Like, they just need, sometimes they need to mind their business, because they don't understand. It's like me and you in a feud, and I'm upset with you, and out of anger, I'm saying these things only because I'm angry. But if I wasn't angry, I would have never been saying that. But then again, you can't really think like that because if a white person gets mad and says the N word, we'll look at them like, nah, that shit is in their blood. It's so freaking, I want to say controversial. Is that the word? Like, it's so crazy because it's like, I think that people just need to start focusing more on the positive. Like, they be worried about the wrong shit. Like tranny, like it's not like a word that they was like take a tranny, kill a tranny, like to where they have a gang that or a group of people that specifically went after trannies to like kill them or something. Like I could understand if there was some negative tie to it. They just don't like it because they feel like they're being called a name. And it's not even a bad name.
It feels like they're being called a name because of the context. Like the whole fifth situation. Like when the LGBTQ in the community calls a woman fish, it doesn't mean to them they smell like fish or a woman's box is fish. It means that they're a natural born
A
woman.
natural born woman. But at the end of the day, I just the thing is that they don't like the name calling, so why are you calling names? Period.
Because it's something that originated in the LGBT community. I don't know if it was bi, but it was something originated in the
And the tranny
LGBT.
was something that was like, originated by the heterosexuals, and that's how they refer to transgenders. The same way how they refer to natural born woman as fish, they refer to transgenders as tranny. No disrespect. What is the issue? That's the part that I don't understand. And they're like, "Oh, you're not of the community to understand." Like, no.
Well,
To
if
me,
we're in the
I
other
think that
community, then how come the community can't explain in a way that other communities can understand?
I really think that they just need to be more realistic. And the reason why I say they need to be more realistic is because they're getting upset over a word when it's like they're basically doing the same thing when it comes to words. Like they made up a word fish to reference natural born woman. And then heterosexuals made up tranny to reference a transgender. So where is the issue? Like that's what I be trying to figure out. And like I said, they said we're not of the community, but with them, it's crazy because just last night, and I told my mom and my sister, I said I was gonna be talking about this on live. It's certain things that I just think is not right. But what they were saying is that my sister, she was telling a story about these Jamaicans that she knows they went on vacation to like Cuba or something, and they ended, they're in jail now because they basically went out, they got drunk, and they brought a girl home, and the girl turned into to happen to be a guy, and then they killed the guy, which it
No.
right. So stuff like that, I do not condone. I don't think is right at all. I don't think is right at all. But one of the things that Nick at Night brought up is that people like that is like one of the things with gay people. I got dragged by the LGBT community because they were telling, I was like, okay, if a transgender male, meaning that, say for example, a guy that was born as a male but wants to be a female, so they become a female, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're attracted to men, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're attracted to men. She's attracted to a man now because she's a woman. So I was saying, why wouldn't they consider dating a transgender like male? So a male, well, a woman that will, that identifies as a man. So she, transgenders over, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
the right word? So now she is a he legally, right? So how
Yeah.
come this he who clearly would like females in a lot of the situations, why this transgender male won't mate with the transgender female? Wouldn't that make sense?
Mate to, well, I know they can't mate to have children because a transgender
Not
female.
actually they might be able to if you think about it. It was a man that was born, well, a person that was born assigned male at birth that transgenders to a female. So now she's a female who likes males, right? And she gets a female born person that identifies as a male that likes females. If they united, they would be a transgender couple, but if they still have their natural sexual organs in place, they can even
Mhm.
have kids.
Yeah, from the female who identifies as a male. If they want to do
Exactly.
it biologically.
They could. So I was thinking like, but with like I said, now let me go back to my point. So what Nika and I was saying was that a lot of the transgender, like the ones that are, assigned male but want to be female, I don't like messing it up because I'll be saying transgender male, transgender female, but we're talking about the ones that are naturally born male but they transition to female. She was saying that a lot of them, which is true, a lot of them like to attract straight men, and that's the problem. Because a lot of the times you can't even look at them and know that they're a man. So if you're a straight guy and you look like a female, they're probably going to be attracted to you. But at the end of the day, it's not their will to mate with a man or not someone who was born as a male. You understand?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
this, so what they were telling me when they was dragging me, they was like, "Oh, we don't just walk up to people saying, I was born a man." I'm like, it's not even about that. It's that if it's a situation where you even seek attention, you have to just let them know, hey, nice to meet you. I'm trans. But they don't do stuff like that. Like if you say that they're trans and then the person is not interested, then go your separate ways. But if they're still interested, and then, have fun. It's the fact that they try to hide it, but then, which Nick and I was saying was that Nick at night was saying is that they get a kick out of it, and sometimes they actually do. Because what they was telling me in the comments, they was like, "Oh, please, honey, I get straight guys all the time that wants me, and they know that I'm a man." I'm like, if they're straight and they know that you're a man, then clearly they're bisexual. So, like I said, I don't have nothing against it, but I think that people should be transparent about it. And I think it's just out of respect. Like you don't withhold that. Like no matter how much you identify as the opposite sex, it is a situation where you have to be transparent because at the end of like you have to like accept your reality, own up to your truth. Like why would you withhold that information? That's like a person who has HIV, but they don't tell nobody that they have HIV. Like that's important information. Like, no, you shouldn't be walking around telling the whole world it. But if you get to a point where someone has an interest, you need to let them know up front, like, this is what you're dealing with. Is this what you
Mhm.
want or no?
Mhm.
And then, like I said, a lot of people was like, they want to be transparent. And I'm like, yo, this coronavirus proved them HIPAA protection laws mean nothing because everybody medical business and their mama was out there when it came down to this coronavirus. Like when the celebrities was getting it, before the celebrities could come out and say they got it, you see it in the news. Like, why do you see their health information in the news? Oh, because it's coronavirus.
Yeah, and everybody else has
So
to
that
know
means
because it's
that
a virus.
everybody who has HIV/AIDS, y'all need to let us know too, so we can know what we dealing with. Like, come on, like I don't understand. Like, that's the issue in this world. Like, nothing is consistent. That's why there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no wrong, there's no right. Like, shit is just all fucked up.
Who? B Simone, you done started some shit, girl. I saw on
But
Twitter where they were calling her Borrow Simone. The B stands for borrow.
I hear that because of the whole book thing. Like honestly, I think that was like me personally. If I was coming out with a book, I would be behind my book and know exactly what's in my book, know what it says before they. How you say they published it, but you never got to read it? That makes no kind of sense. So that excuse, I think that I could believe it because some people don't even care. They just want to get money, and she's paying editors to do stuff for her. She's not dealing with it on her own. I could believe it, but I don't believe it because the same way we got to keep in mind that we come in contact with how many liars in our natural lives, and this is just people that we know. But these same liars be celebrities, be police officers, be lawyers, be doctors, be bus drivers, be the
Mhm.
McDonald's workers. So it's like you never really know what to believe, but the fact still remains that you signed off on that, your name was on that, and you're admitting that it's definitely other people's work. So it was your fault that it even got that far. I think that I mean, If she didn't know, then she didn't plagiarize. The company plagiarized, and they just need to understand that it was the company and not her. But if
But I
she
think
knew
she
about
did
it, then that was
know,
wrong.
and she tried to put it off on the design company because I thought a design company was supposed to design the cover and the back of your book. And you're responsible for what goes in the book because it's your book
You're the
and you're the
author,
author.
but when I
Girl,
tell you, I just don't know how that happened. But then because of that, people are trying to drag her name. And then, like I said, I don't even, they're taking old stuff. That was old, right? It wasn't nothing recent. And they like to, like how Nick at Night was saying, it's like they like to bully people, especially when they know the person is already under pressure. They
mm-hmm.
like to bully people because they digging up old stuff. And then, you know, the LGBTQ community, they go hard, but it's crazy because I need to get this message out there. They need to
Go ahead.
understand that united we stand, divided we fall. So when we're saying Black Lives Matter, we're like all Black Lives Matter. People keep saying, "Oh, if you don't support the LGBT community, you there's no way you support the civil rights movement or the Black Lives Matter." I'm like, why you even have to put the whole like, LGBTQ thing in it? Like, if we're saying Black Lives Matter, just support our movement because the stuff that's happening to us. I mean, I get that some transgenders are like, really bullied just because of just because they're trans. But at the end of the day, is that yeah, like this is exactly what happened back when we had civil rights movement. And then after the civil rights movement, you had the woman that went for women's rights. So then now you got the woman, trying to go off and be independent and separating them from their husbands, and there's no there's no unity basically. That's how I feel. Like well, it's not that
No,
there's no unity, it's that
because
the unity weakens.
I see that people go hard for the LGBT, the Black LGBT community, but Black women, we're at the bottom. Okay, so I see that it's Black men, LGBT, the Black LGBT, and then Black women at at the bottom
I don't
because
think so. I think that
you
us
don't
black
think
women
so?
is too no, because I don't when I say as far as us having a struggle, like us black women, we're strong and I feel like we I don't really see us wanting to fight for rights because I feel like we do our like we're very independent. Like what kind of rights? We're gonna
Yes,
start our own businesses, we're gonna be independent. A lot of us are independent or we got jobs that we okay with.
yes, but how strong and independent do we have to be? We're standing up for everybody else, but everybody else isn't standing up for us. The Black man is the one hitting us upside the head with skateboards because we don't want to talk to him, or throwing us in
Uh,
garbage cans,
you
or
know what?
following us around when they can't take the hint that we don't want to give them our phone number, or the highest domestic violence rates. So
I see
I
what you're saying. You're making some valid points there because, like, when you think about it, it is a situation where I feel like our black men don't protect their black women
they
as much as they
don't.
should. That's how I really, really feel. But at the end of the day, we could fight for that, but we would have to fight against men to get those rights. We would have to go on strike and say we want more protection from y'all. Like, then
And
now
then
we at war with our people.
they want to talk about defunding the police. Okay, if we defund the police and let people police themselves, those would be the same Black men who want to beat our asses in charge of the community. If anything, a lot more women of color, a lot more Black women would be better off if they became police officers also.
That's true. They can. That is a good idea. But honestly, I don't feel intimidated by men, and I don't be feeling like I need anybody to protect me. Well, then again, I had brothers, so I always had protection, like growing up. But I never really thought of it like that. But I do hear, like for example, in Jamaica, there's a lot of wives that are murdered
Mm-hmm.
from their husbands. There's a lot of domestic violence. I know even here too. But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, that whole concept, in order for us to be able to get a situation where we have more protection from the men, we would have to basically protest that And then
What?
it's like we taken away from the cost. It's interesting because this guy he posted, he said, what do you feel is more important? Independence or freedom? No, it was equality or independence. Equality or independence. I said equality. I feel like we need to get our civil rights like to where we have true equality against all people, no matter your race or skin color. Once we have equality and unity and an understanding of that within this country, I feel like then we can have a better relationship with our men to talk to them to be like, okay, now, now that y'all are no longer the minority, like y'all need to step up and be better men and protect us. And then at that point, if they don't start to do better as a result of us getting our, equality, then we would have to protest it.
Or dismiss the man because all skin folk ain't kinfolk, obviously.
Yeah, but like I said, it depends on how we looking as a people, like across the globe, because you said that it's a situation where, some men really think that it's normal to like, oh, my baby daddy is a perfect example. They really think that men are superior to women. That is the type of stuff that, and it's like it's nothing that like he really thinks that like how the woman is supposed to respect the man. I mean, I think that we're supposed to respect each other. I think that we're supposed to, you know,
Exactly.
cater
That's what I
to
was
each
saying. Where's
other.
the black woman's respect? You want to do
Yeah.
all this shit to your own women. The reason you're here, the black woman, the reason you're here, but then treat her like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. That
So
is, he's one of those people. And then when I used to live in New York and I used to work downtown Brooklyn, there used to be like these guys that used to be standing on the corner. I don't even know what religion they were, but they used to be dressed up all like soldiers or stuff. Not really like soldiers, just in some weird clothing. You ever seen them? I don't know if they're Moors. I think they used to call themselves Moors.
are you talking about the Hebrew Israelites? They be in those
That's
outfits
probably, yeah. That sounds familiar too. Could be that.
and
But like they
they be
just
hanging out in groups and they be having those microphones and they be yelling out from the Bible or the Quran and just yeah,
or
girl. They
whatever
like the
they be
Black
doing.
Lives Matter mural because they used to be down at the transit. But then they moved to the Black Lives Matter mural a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, okay. So
Wait, they have them in Charlotte too?
yeah, they've been in Charlotte for
Oh,
years. They'll
I
stand up,
haven't
they be
seen
having their
them.
tables and their pamphlets, and they be talking about how the black man is king and blah 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 blah. And here's one thing that I've never seen with them. I've never seen any black women in their group out on the front lines with them.
Mm. That's the thing. I've never seen. I think I actually either spoke to one of them or heard them saying something that it was just their whole vibe is just that, like, the man is like, like the woman is beneath them. Like, and I just can't get with stuff like that. But the problem with that is that that's how some guys feel. So that's the reason why they treat women, they don't treat them as good as they should. Like, you look, it's crazy because you got some good men out there. It's just unfortunate because
Their
a
thinking
lot
is
of us,
fucked up.
no, a lot of us black women don't get to experience it, you know? Like a lot of us black women don't get to experience a good black man, but they definitely are out there. Like my husband is decent, but can't say he's not romantic. I can't say my dream guy because my husband is kind of like my dream guy. But if it was one thing I can change, I would make him a little bit more romantic. Let me say a little bit more romantic more often. right? Because he's romantic, like, but like once in the blue, like he'll do something that, like one time I went in the shower and I came out, he had like candles all over the room. You see, stuff like that. I like that, but I need that like once a month. I don't need it like
Oh,
once a year or once every 2 years. But then again, we have a long distance relationship, so I'm like, when we finally live together, we'll see. He did. I guess weird because he did a couple of stuff, but I'm just like in my head. I like during the week I work, I work, I work. On my weekends I like to relax. So when I go on my vacation, I want to live my dream life, you know?
true.
But then
You've
like I said, once we live
never
together it's
thought
different.
about moving your family down to Jamaica, or y'all want to be here in America?
He's in the British Virgin Islands. If
Oh
he
yeah,
was in Jamaica right now, I probably would have packed up and went out there if he was in Jamaica because I know with Jamaica that you could do more with your money. Where he is now, they use US currency and they're expensive.
mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't go there. And then I was looking up the internet speed. So say for example, the internet speed that I would need is $300 a month. I looked at their plans.
Yeah, you
So
did tell me that. Yeah.
I was like, yep. I'm like, would it even be worth it? Because I still would have my regular bills and stuff here. And then I would have to pay $300 a month over there for an extra internet service. So it's like, is it really financially smart? Like, not really, but anywho.
Whew. Let's
Back
move
on
on.
topic. Yeah,
What?
because it's gonna be late.
What's the next topic? What
First of
is?
all, hold on, pause. Today is my Friday. That's why I had this big old glass of wine. I'm off tomorrow.
Almost tomorrow. Oh yeah, we're both off on the fourth.
Tomorrow, no, tomorrow's the day celebrated, but it's the third. Okay, but yeah, but like I said, I feel like I think the main thing we just need to focus on one thing. Like once we get our civil rights, then we can focus on the other things. But when we have all these separate movements, it takes away from from the cause.
And mind you, the whole reparations talk that just went out the window.
You said what?
The whole reparations talk that just went out the window.
Oh yeah, honestly, when we get our 100,000 followers, I'm gonna start having this reparations conversation because I want my 40 acres and a mule, and I'm gonna demand it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'm like, how they really tell us we was gonna give? I'm stuck on that. How y'all promise us that along with freedom and y'all ain't give us nothing? I wanna punch them in their face. Like, how you promise? You know what? They just trifling.
That's your government, honey. Yeah. But what was the next topic?
So how do you feel about the Jada, Will, and August Alsina situation?
I don't give a fuck. That's what I feel. I don't give a. I don't, we
Honestly,
already knew that they were in an open marriage. First of all, we already knew that they were in an open marriage, and I don't like how that shit is covering up the bigger issue. There's a white man, more than one white man, but there's one main white man on the internet on YouTube who sexualized a black child and then made fun of the fact that another black child lost his life. He's just now paying for it, but he should have been called out a long time ago. And you know what? He actually was by some smaller YouTubers, and their
so
channels
there's
disappeared.
proof of this, or because I never heard of this. I think I saw you post about this the other day, but I never heard of this before
Girl,
now.
girl, girl.
Because I'm like, and then you're saying is one of Will Smith kids?
Yeah,
Is that the same situation?
it was Willow Smith. So the YouTuber is Shane Dawson. Let me look at my history because I
So
just
it was online, and YouTube let that be online.
okay. Hold on. Well, the Willow
Let me
Smith
go.
is one of them. So here's
Maybe Trayvon Martin. Well, maybe you wouldn't be walking around the streets if you had a job.
that's what he said about Trayvon Martin.
Mm-mm-mm. And then shouldn't
You
he be in
wouldn't.
jail for the child pornography thing? Well, that wasn't child pornography. It was just him being nasty to a picture of a child.
And then the whole situation with him and Willow. Of course, there's a video out of him on Twitter. Actually, let me get it for the people who aren't versed on Twitter.
Yeah, because I haven't used Twitter for forever. You be on Twitter. I be
Like I be
seeing
on Twitter, but
tweets.
I'm not. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter. That's how I
Hmm.
didn't know any of his stuff because I actually used to follow Shane Dawson. He just uploaded a video after months, and he was never consistent for the past year, except for the whole Jeffree Star makeup palette collaboration that he had. And Jeffree Star, he's another problematic person that he teamed up with, but I considered canceling him before because of the whole Jeffree Star thing. Because Jeffree Star, he's said the N word in the past, and he's done some stuff. I don't know if it was blackface or it was something that Jeffree Star had done. Oh, I'm already on Twitter. What the fuck? So what he did was him and Jeffree Star, like I said, they had the makeup palette and all this shit. So I was like, ew, Jeffree Star, why is he teaming up with him? And then he teamed up with Jake Paul before that. And I was like, I don't really know how to feel about this because I started watching Shane Dawson because of his conspiracy theory videos.
Mm.
And that's all I used to watch on YouTube. And I did that was a couple of years ago. So he has maybe like 3 years worth of conspiracy theory videos. That's all the videos he used to do. Before then, he used to do a lot of food videos where he would just eat a whole bunch of junk on camera, and I'm like, I can't watch this. So that was
Hmm.
older than the conspiracy theory videos. So what he would do was he would reinvent himself. So now, ever since before then, and the food videos, because he's been on YouTube since like 2008 for a
Hmm.
long ass time. So he would reinvent himself, the food videos, the conspiracy theory videos, and now he's doing these little mini documentaries with Jake Paul, Jeffree Star. He did one with another YouTuber saying that her ex fiance was stalking her. It was so he'll categorize himself with a new audience and then go off that. So So 2020 is on some shit because there's some other stuff coming out with him being problematic. And apparently he's been problematic. A lot of his newer fans didn't know about it. So
Mm.
especially the black ones, because the black people got a hold of this earlier. But there's one thing about the COVID situation. Um, it's allowing people to sit down and actually listen. And if this would have happened last year, especially with the racial climate this year, this wouldn't have got any steam.
Mm.
So a lot of people are at home. They're seeing what's going on. Okay, so here it is. Here it is. So here's the Willow Smith video. So I can hold it up and then I can press it.
Oh, Bill. Oh, with your hair. Oh, 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 Bill. Oh,
That
with
was a
your
joke, though, right?
oh, oh,
Supposedly.
oh, with your hair.
But that's just
Supposedly.
disgusting.
So exactly. So when I posted on Instagram, don't let this August Alsina shit distract you from the fact that Shane Dawson needs to be fucking canceled all the way. Because with this little cancel culture, we'll cancel somebody for a couple of days. Look at Doja Cat. Her video's #1 trending on YouTube. She's doing videos with Zachary Campbell. Like none of this shit didn't happen. Doja Cat, bitch, we still looking at you.
Hmm.
Like none of this shit didn't happen, but all of a sudden she's trending on her music and on YouTube also. But this shit right here, so in the past, this past week, hold on.
You have to keep in mind that this country proactively like has more Trump supporters. No, this country has more Trump supporters that are active. Look at the people who's going out and voting. The people who's actually voting, they're voting for Trump. Those are Trump people. So this is proving that there's way more racist people, or there's way more. Can't really say
And
they're all racist.
their kids are the same ones who watch Shane Dawson, because his audience is a lot of kids, a lot of young adults, and a lot of older adults who he can still kind of low key appeal to. So I'm like, who the fuck still watches him? He still has 22 million followers on YouTube. But here's the thing:
22 million. That
this
proves to
22 fucking
you.
million. But here's
That
the thing:
proves to you.
he is one of YouTube's golden boys. So this week, YouTube demonetized all three of his channels.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, so they demonetized his channels. They did the same thing with Jake Paul after he showed that body hanging in the suicide forest in Japan, and he got a lot of flack for that. They demonetized his videos too. Now he's back on top. He did lose some
He showed the
subscribers.
real live body hanging.
Yeah, there's a forest in Japan where people go to commit suicide, and he showed the body. He was laughing about it on camera.
That is
Yes,
just crazy. Like there's
yes.
something wrong with people.
So they'll demonetize the white folks' videos, and
Mm-mm-mm.
then I guess for a while just to teach them a lesson. But they're money makers on a huge platform. They're not going to keep those videos demonetized for long. And then Shane has 3 channels, and then before this,
Well, demonetized means that he can still post his videos to get his likes and views, but he wouldn't make any money off of
he
it. He
won't
can
make any
still
money.
post,
He
but
can
he
still
wouldn't make
post.
money.
He can still post, but he knows better than to post now. He knows better than to post now. But what he mentioned
He's
in
gonna wait.
the last video, the most recent video, is that he was thinking about what he was writing, in the process of writing a horror movie, because along with the conspiracy theory videos, he thinks that there's ghosts and spirits following him or some bullshit. And the last video started talking about how his house is probably
Yeah,
haunted. And
these people are crazy. I think that's what it is. I need to be crazy, and maybe how much followers he got again? 22
22
million?
million,
I need to
22
be
million on
crazy.
YouTube, 22
Let
million on
me be
YouTube.
crazy.
Let me go on Instagram, see how many followers he has on Instagram, because I was looking for his numbers to go down.
I don't even know what you said the man name is.
Shane Dawson. Oh, he lost 100,000 subscribers this
How you
week
know?
because the number went down from the last time I was on there. He went from
Um,
11.2 million, 11.2
bro,
million
this is the
followers.
dude.
Yes, that's
Oh
what
my.
he uploaded that right before all this bullshit started. But here's the thing, it didn't start with the Willow Smith video. So the last time I was on his YouTube, he had 11.3 million on Instagram. Now he has 11.2. So he's losing followers.
It's crazy. 22 million people know about this man, yet I never heard of him till today. You see, you always teaching me about new people. I've never heard of that man ever.
Girl, so this didn't start with the whole Willow Smith thing. This started because he has on his Instagram, he still has the Jeffrey. What the fuck? Ew, what is that? Ew. So on his Instagram, he has a link to where it says Jeffree Star Cosmetics, him and another problematic YouTuber who said the N-word and does some other shit, has a makeup collection that they launched last year. And that's what
Mm.
the last documentary series that he uploaded was about. Him making the makeup palette. So Jeffree Star, this started with Jeffree Star because Jeffree Star made up a whole fucking lie and planted a seed in another YouTuber named Tati Westbrook in her ear to make it seem like another YouTuber named James Charles was a predator amongst straight men, saying that he, goes and follows straight men around. He tries to rape them, and he has a rape victim that he has a
Well, wait, all of that
voicemail.
is fabricated though? I don't understand what's wrong with people, bro.
Fabricated a little, but everybody is problematic and everybody is guilty of something. So when Tati Westbrook, she went online and she went against James Charles because of what Shane and Jeffrey told her. She didn't believe any of it. She didn't want to believe because her and Charles were actually friends. She came after James Charles after he started promoting a product that's a rival company of hers. So that's when she felt slighted. So she saw that he was promoting another company's gummy bears or whatever the fuck. And so she makes a video and says, "Oh, well, he does this and he's a predator and he has a rape victim and blah 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 blah." And mind you, this kid is what, 19 years old at the time? 19 last year, turned 20 later on this year, turned 20 later on this year. I think he might have just turned 21. So this is girl. So all this started with the seed that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson planted in her ear, and then that started a whole fucking Dramageddon. That's what they call it on YouTube. If you look up Dramageddon, then that's what the fuck it's called, because it was just a whole bunch of fucking drama because they made up this lie against James Charles.
That's
And
crazy.
it got to the point where James Charles was about to commit suicide and he had to seek treatment. And you're trying to ruin somebody's life because you're jealous of them?
It's
Because
crazy.
they
At the end of the day, people like I don't care. Somebody could go out there and tell whatever type of lies. I don't care what happens. I'm not about to commit suicide. You could think whatever the fuck you want to think. I'm a, like if it's true, God knows the truth. That's the only person I
true,
gotta be worried about. Like
true,
people
but
are
then
so weird to me. Like if somebody, it's crazy because the stuff that I've heard people say, like you know how something happens and then it gets back to you, and I'd be like, who the fuck said that shit? And you just laugh. Like I done heard stuff about me, and then that's not even true, and I just sit there and I laugh about it because that shit is hilarious. Like, huh?
exactly. But what made it kind of true, well, not really. Well, it made suspicion grow a little bit, grow a little bit more. Was Jeffree Star? He was on a podcast, and he
Hmm.
said that he had a video recording of one of James Charles's victims, and he went into a room with one of the podcast hosts, and he played it because he didn't want to play it on air and out the victim.
So he wanted to commit suicide because that's probably the guilt in him. Did you hear? Like that's the guilt in him. That's what that would be if he really
Like
wanted
I
to commit.
said, they're all guilty of something
That's how it seems, and that's
because
why.
nobody is completely innocent, especially Jeffrey and Shane, because they were just so mad that James Charles had been on YouTube for what, less than 2.5 years, and he already surpassed 1 million subscribers and a couple of million. Well, I don't know how many million because I don't follow James Charles, but yeah. So
But
that
you
was
know
last
these
year.
people though, it's scary because they play with money. Like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, they got rape victims. They probably got money to being able to pay people to lie and say that the person raped them." Like stuff like that. It's just crazy. Because at the end of the day, it's like, why you coming forth for the rape victim? How you aware of a rape but you didn't go through authorities? Go to authorities. Like, huh?
You didn't go to the police. That's
Exactly.
what
That's what
everybody
I'm
on
like.
YouTube is asking.
Like,
So
how is that?
you had this evidence, but you didn't go to the police. You make a video about it.
Exactly.
So
Because
all
at the
that
end
was
of
uncovered. 2020 is on some bullshit. All that was uncovered a couple of weeks, maybe like to a month ago. And all this shit is being uncovered all again because all this happened last year. That Willow video, that was in 2014. That Trayvon Martin video, I think that was in 2013, around that time also. So all this is being done up. It's 2020. Now people are getting hip to, more people are being hip to, well, who's on some bullshit on YouTube and who's not. I was like, they're going after everybody. Everybody is getting some shit dug up that they have done that they should feel guilty for, that they should be accounted for. So it was
girl.
what? Me Too. It started with the Me Too, R. Kelly, and all this shit. And then it went to what? These companies, they want to apologize for having racial undertones and their logos and Uncle Ben's rice and Aunt Jemima and all this shit. And the NFL, they want to apologize
Girl,
for not backing Colin Kaepernick. But
they was
still,
like everybody getting canceled. CPI canceled.
so everybody's being called out, especially these fucking YouTubers. Everybody's being called out. So yeah, so he lost his he lost his demonetization. Oh, he had a book out. Shane Dawson, he had a book out at Target. Target kept all his book sales, took his books out the store. Girl, he is feeling it. But here's the thing. I don't think he's really suffering like that. The only reason why he will be suffering is because what people think about him. They all care about what people think about them. His boyfriend, excuse me, his fiance, Ryland Adams, he has a YouTube channel. He has like a couple of million subscribers. Ryland's sister, she moved from Colorado to YouTube, and they got in her ear, was like, hey, you should start a YouTube channel and we'll help you get subscribers and blah, 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 blah. And we'll help you make videos. She has a couple million subscribers. Everybody around him has grew off of him, but he grew off of somebody else. And I forgot the guy's name. The guy, he went to the guy, this was years before he blew up. He went to the guy and was like, hey, can you mention me in one of your videos? And I'll pay, I'll send out, I don't know if he paid him for the mention or whatever. So the guy, he mentioned him in his videos, and Shane Dawson started to blow up. So the guy that mentioned Shane, his channel started to dwindle, people started to forget about him. So he goes to Shane and said, hey, can you return the favor and mention me in one of your videos, and maybe we can do a cameo? And Shane said, no.
That's the thing. That's the hypocrite shit that Neek at Night was talking about on her YouTube channel. When you go back to the LGBTQ community, and is he part of that community? Because I think you mentioned that he has a fiance that's a male, right?
Yeah,
That's the stuff that I don't. It's so crazy because that's why I honestly. I feel like every person born into this country they need to have some type of professional counselor because there's something really wrong with people. They're hypocrites. They like doing fucked up shit to people. They expect good shit, but they don't want to give nothing. I don't understand. And then it's like people help them get to the top, and then when they get to the top, they just shit on them. Like, I don't understand.
Girl, the rabbit hole, like my homegirl said, the rabbit hole goes deep. It's a lot of people who are connected to them who are problematic and who have shit being done. Jenna Marbles, the only reason why I fuck with Jenna Marbles and still subscribe to her is because she made her apology video before anything was even dug up on her. She saw what was happening and she was like, I guess to save face, but she did it without anybody even having any knowledge of whatever the fuck she did. And I think she did a video with blackface. She was tan, but she was using it as blackface. And she showed it on her channel. She sat down. It was just one instance. She showed it on her channel. She was like, look, I'm sorry. This is what happened. This is what I did. I've grown since then. And you can actually see where she's grown. You can see where everybody else has grown, but socially, not really, because you don't see any black people around Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, Jenna Marbles. She doesn't really associate with anybody except for her and her boyfriend. They have a channel, they have their podcast, and her boyfriend has his own channel. Jeffree Star, he's so problematic. He hired a security guard from Florida who got fired from the police department that he worked for because he uttered the N-word. He said something about niggers or something like that, and he got fired. And Jeffree Star hired him because of that. So everybody is on some bullshit. So that's why I fuck with Jenna Marbles, because she just owns up to her shit. A lot of people respect her for that. She just owned up to her shit, and she actually said what she did and apologized for it. This was before any of this shit happened. And now Shane Dawson, when he said the Trayvon Martin shit, the two white folks that was in the video that I showed you sitting beside him, they have something called the JK podcast or the Just Joking or the JK something is a really popular YouTube channel. The guy Steve, he's on To Hear More's podcast, Wording is Hard. So which is a black guy. So To Hear More had to come out today and say that he deleted his episode of Wording is Hard because of Steve. He was in the video with this guy talking about Trayvon Martin's death like it was a joke. So
That's
it's a lot
crazy.
of people who are connected to Shane. It's a lot of people who are connected. You know, the YouTube world is big, but it's still small. So especially if you live in California, you're gonna collab with somebody else. And if you collab with Shane Dawson, oh my god, girl, there's so many clips of him saying the N-word. And I don't know who this black chick is. She had her own channel and then it died away. They used to do videos together and they're just screaming nigger and all this shit, girl. Ooh, girl.
Nothing about that. Like I said, I never even heard of the man prior to today. But that's crazy.
Girl.
22 million followers though, like that's like
That's
Beyonce
how many
status,
people
like bro.
now. I don't know if YouTube has kept his numbers. I don't know because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people from different channels. But okay, so you demonetize his videos. How come you didn't delete his channel? They love deleting black
Because
creative channels.
they have?
Any Yes, any black person who actually spoke the truth about COVID, about the government, who want to talk about conspiracy theories or anything else.
Can you see this?
Yeah,
He has more followers than Beyonce. I mean, more YouTube subscribers than Beyonce. And mind you, I've never heard of him.
exactly. Exactly.
Because
He,
he has 22 and she has 20 million, 20.8
but
million.
here's my whole point. He'll get his stuff back. But black folks who want to talk about what they want to talk about, who are non-problematic, and they go against the so-called guidelines on YouTube, they got their channels deleted. How come he didn't get any of his channels deleted? At least delete
Are they
one or two.
claiming, well, yeah, I didn't know that. Like that there was like I feel like if it's a situation where they've really deleted other people's, channels, they should consider doing the same to him because I don't understand why they would do that to other black people, but then not
Because
him.
he's one of the golden boys.
Were
Just
they
like
being racist or what did they do wrong?
they are racist as fuck.
Not them. I'm talking about the black people whose stuff got deleted. I'm trying to
No,
compare.
nowhere near racist. But here's what happened. YouTube came out with these fucking guidelines. I think it was last year or the year before, and a lot of people who the whole freedom of speech thing came about because how can we upload something on this platform and we can't talk about what we want to talk about, and then you
Hold
want to
up.
delete our channels.
That is going to basically like point out something with the whole like flow of this conversation so far. If we have freedom of speech, how are we getting in trouble for saying stuff like tranny and faggot and stuff?
Oh
It, it's
no, I don't say that
it's
word.
to me it's so hypocritical. Like I mean, it's like I feel like there should be laws that explains like if it's a situation like the N word is a bad word to use. I feel like what she was saying. It comes down to respect. Like out of respect, just don't say it. Just don't say it. Simple, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But if you're
exactly.
having a conversation with your own, like, personal people and you say it without any disrespect, it's a difference. You can tell when somebody is just like, oh, yeah, I saw a tranny walking down the street. And then, so that's one thing. But if you sit and you're talking about some, oh, trannies are this and that, and I hate them and this and this and that, like, that's not okay. But if you're just using it to explain a situation, I don't know. Like I said, this shit is just so controversial. It makes no damn sense. Makes no damn sense. Freedom of speech is there's no freedom. There's no such thing as freedom of speech in 2020 because there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be offended by something that you said that you never even said to them.
Yeah, yeah. Like Like the whole Kevin Hart situation. I remember when Kevin Hart he lost his Oscars job because he said something about if his son was gay, then he would beat the shit out of him or something like that. Mind you, that was 10 years ago. 11 now, 11 years ago on Twitter that he put out on Twitter, and then everybody else wanted him to apologize for
That's the
saying.
thing.
But then here's the thing: he didn't lose the Oscars job. He stepped down because he wasn't going to apologize. But then everybody looked at him crazy because he didn't want to apologize because he felt like if he apologized, he already apologized. So he didn't feel like he should have apologized all over again. So he already knew he was wrong. That's why he apologized the first time. So his thing was, why should I have to apologize again? So that's why he stepped down from the Oscars. And that's all thing with the whole cancel. And they tried to cancel him with that. And then his documentary came because I don't really fuck with Kevin Hart like that. But that right there, I was like, he already apologized before. So why apologize again just to make y'all feel better and so he can host the Oscars? That's why he stepped down. I already apologized, so take that. So you just want me to apologize just to hear me say I'm sorry? Fuck y'all. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's how men are. Like men are like that. Like some people would try to be the bigger person and just be like, I apologize, but some people is not. They're not kissing nobody ass for nothing.
True.
But at the end of the
Girl.
day, it's like I feel like it's so controversial. I think that the N word, the problem is that when you think about all of these other things, you got to think about the N word. But the N word to me is definitely different because we were slaves. It wasn't a situation where they made all gay people slaves, not a situation where they made all women slaves. If they didn't have to, they weren't purposely lynching, all women for no reason. They weren't purposely lynching all gay people just because they were gay. But not to say, like I said, that's controversial because it's being said that one of the people who was lynched recently, they were trans, right? But the thing about that still is that they're thinking it was still some type of racist attempt. That's why it goes back to us needing that equality and that civil rights movement to be honored by the whole
Mm-hmm.
country, by the whole world. All right, we're gonna call because it's getting late. We've been on here for over an
An
hour.
hour and 12, yes.
All right, so basically, one of the things I want to touch quick base on right quick because I know I personally got a lot of New York people, but they're saying that any New Yorkers who travel to any high COVID-19 areas such as Florida, Texas, and any other states that's on that list, basically New York gets a paid sick leave, but they would basically forfeit their rights to their sick leave because if they actually travel, they're putting themselves at risk of getting COVID. So yeah, I just
But
wanna,
what if
if
they
you're
have
in
to
New
travel?
York,
What if a family member died or something like that? So you want to punish them for something that they couldn't control?
and that's the thing. The thing is that right now nobody's really supposed to be traveling because technically they're not even supposed to be well, places are starting to open back up, but for a while they weren't really even doing funerals like that. Okay, so now we're gonna go over the states. And New York specifically actually has a list of eight. Well, they added eight more states, so it's more than eight states in the list in total. But anybody that comes from these states that goes to visit New York, they expect you to self quarantine for 14 days, and if you get caught out, you can face consequences. I don't know if it's jail time and or fine or whatever the case is. But the lists of the names of the states on that list include Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Idaho. Did I say that right?
Idaho.
Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Nevada, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah. It was Iowa. I feel like I said that wrong. You hear me?
What'd you say wrong?
Iowa, Iowa.
Iowa. Yeah.
Yeah, that was on the list too. But I'm mad that North Carolina is on the list. And then at the same time, people are really refusing to. Oh, we gotta get. Let me stay in line with the. Those are the states. Hold on, let's go on down the list because we're gonna talk about that. Oh, that was the next thing in the list about the mask, right? So basically, they basically
These
a doctor texted, huh?
these fucking masks. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you ain't a fan of the mask. A doctor tested her oxygen levels and heart rate while wearing a face mask to show that they don't make it hard to breathe. So basically, if you ever been to the hospital, you know clearly that there's a way for them to be able to test your oxygen levels. So they basically tested their oxygen levels on a few different doctors with the mask on. So it basically there's proof that it does not interfere with your oxygen levels. Honestly, the masks are uncomfortable, and especially because the weather is warming up, it's really, really uncomfortable and it makes you hot. But at the end of the day, I would rather that than to be exposed to other people's COVID-19. So that's how I
Well,
feel.
here's the thing. If you're gonna wear a mask outside, shouldn't the outside air be healthier than sitting inside with everybody else and potentially with somebody who has COVID
Well,
19?
this is the thing when you're in your home, you know who's in your home. And even say for example, it's like
What
the
if you're at
stomach
work?
flu.
What if
Like,
what if you're one of the few people who work? What if you're at a
but here's the
restaurant?
thing. But that's the thing. Like growing up, my mom, she has 6 kids. So it was a situation where, when chickenpox came through, it was a cycle. One person got it, the next person got it. Anytime anybody had the stomach flu, like the throwing up, the stomach cramps, the diarrhea, it went through the whole house. One person would have it, somebody else would have it, somebody else would have it, somebody else would have it, until everybody in the house got it. Once everybody in the house got it, you were safe, and then that was it. I feel like it's similar with the coronavirus. I think that, you know, like whoever's in your house is in your house, and if that's why it's important to wear the mask. Because if you go out and you go to work, it's a situation where, like, if I live in a house and somebody like me, I'm working from home, so I don't really have to go out. So if I live with somebody who actually is going out and they're not wearing their mask, and then they catch coronavirus and they bring it home to me, that's messed up. When if they was wearing a mask, 9 out of 10 times that could have been avoided. Am I right or am I right? Miss, no, I don't want to wear a mask. That shit is annoying.
And I still don't want to wear a fucking mask. Shit. Fuck that shit.
But I'm
And breathing
telling you,
that shit.
like,
It's too hot for that shit. My face be sweating and shit. No, fuck that. No.
I
Girl,
know it is a lot. Like, I was like,
my job is in front of the Black Lives Matter mural. So
I get it.
everybody
I get it. It's your
who was
lifestyle,
out
though.
last weekend, everybody who was out last weekend did not have on a fucking mask. And this was
And that's
after
the
their most.
problem. Like, that's why we on that list. That's why we on that list. I'm telling you, like I feel like it's a situation where people just take, like, I swear, if you did, like, even when my husband is, their cases are so low, but you know what they did? They self quarantine. They self quarantine. They did a mandatory quarantine. People wasn't working. People like out there suffering because they ain't had no type of paycheck since March. My husband just went back to work. He didn't work from March till June. And the thing is that luckily he saves up his money so well. But imagine if he was somebody like the average black person in America. Where the hell are we gonna find 3 months worth of rent money from if we're not working and we not and then we like they don't have unemployment like how we have unemployment. So I'm like, you got places like that they said, fuck your pockets. We want to make sure our country is good. Nobody going to work. The only people who's working is if you work in the hospital or you work at the police station.
But
They
then they
did.
shouldn't fault people who are able to work. So if anybody is facing evictions or anything like that, there shouldn't be any late fees. There
The
shouldn't be any
government should have just gave the whole country 14
free
days to be
rent.
at home with bills paid, or with or made the employers pay them full money, even though they weren't working. But America don't want to shut down. America doesn't want to shut down because the economy is going to crash, but you rather your economy crash or your people. Like that's the part that like I'm just God bless America. Make America great.
God bless
Thanks for
America.
coming. Like this, like a lot of this stuff don't make sense to me. I'm like, yo, they clearly the common sense is really not that common.
No, girl.
Anywho,
Okay. What's the
what we
next?
gonna
What's the
do?
next topic?
Ooh. So then we were gonna talk about. Okay, so before we go into celebrity birthdays, I did tell y'all with the Kobe Bryant, there's gonna be a Kobe Bryant Legacy docuseries on Instagram TV and YouTube, and that's gonna be available as of July the 5th. So make sure y'all tune in. And he's a fellow Virgo. Virgo.
Yes, his Virgo. Our birthdays are coming up, aren't they?
It sure is. I can't wait. Woo! I don't even know what I'm doing yet, but I'm just like,
Me neither. And I'm off on my birthday, so.
yep. All right, so we're gonna go over the celebrity birthdays that we know whose birthday is today, and then we're gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna go to sleep.
Oh, the other thing that I told you about.
Oh yeah, that too. So we're gonna do celebrity birthdays now or after.
Zoom down. Let's get them out the way.
Okay, you go ahead because only person I know is Burna Boy. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know
I
Burna
only,
Boy?
I only saw Sweetie, and who else was on that list that she sent me?
Sweetie is the R&B singer, right? Because I think I kind of know of her, but I wasn't sure.
I thought she was a rapper.
I don't know.
Big whoop.
I
That's my type. That's my type, nigga. That's my type. Something, something, something.
Oh, okay.
Something, something. Look,
But
girl. So who's Burna Boy? If that's the only
you
person
don't
that's
know.
in the song.
Okay, so you don't know this song. Hold up. You don't know this song.
I'm sorry, I don't recall.
It be on the radio.
I didn't
I think he's
listen to the
African.
radio.
Well, I'm
I
sure he's
didn't listen to
African,
the
but
radio.
huh?
I don't listen to the radio.
Oh, you never heard this song, my nigga. Mm. But if you listen to this, my sister was actually pointing out. He was pointing out. He was pointing out something. Something about like basically he was like, oh, anything that we do, they try to take it away. Basically, he's talking about like if you actually listen to the messages and what he's saying, he's basically talking about that. It's a lot of stuff that he's talking about that we can relate to. And he's like, yo, I want to buy a house, but at the same time, I want to turn up. Like that's how I be feeling. Like I be want to save my money so I can buy a nice big old house. But then I like to travel, so that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. But this year is a big year for me, so I'm like, nah, I need a house this year or next year. But at the same time, I still want to turn up and travel.
Speaking of buying shit, I found out where I want to buy my first car from, but a bitch needs some money.
Oh, that's what I was going to be talking about. So basically, with you, I get what you're saying when it comes to wearing a mask because your lifestyle, and my lifestyle is different. Like me, I'm literally from the house to the car, from the house to the car, from the car to the house. Same process. But excuse me, with somebody who has to actually travel like you and commute, I can imagine have to be on the bus at the bus stop. I get what you're saying. So I definitely get it. But I just feel like they're so necessary because you don't even want to take that risk because it's a lot of other people that's not wearing their masks. And if we don't understand this virus, we don't know if we could become immune to it truly. We don't know if it's a situation where if we get it, if we can be reinfected with it. We don't know. We just don't know.
Yes, girl.
But you know, if you can get a car, that would be good though, because this way you don't have to be going through all of that. Because it's not that bad when you have your own vehicle and that's how
No,
you
I can
travel.
disinfect my own car.
Yeah, but honestly, what you could try to do, because with my cars, I always save up money. You could save up like $3,000 and buy you a decent car that'll last you a couple of years. Instead of what some people like to do is some people be having like $300 and $400 car notes, and then like $200 and $300 car insurance, and they be digging themselves in a miserable ass financial hole. If
I'm not
you ain't
doing
got
that.
it like that, just get you a couple thousand, go get you a car that can drive you to where you need to go and back home safely, and that's that.
I'm not doing that. I found a place
And
where the car might have some miles on it, but if I put a little bit of my money down, I mean, I still need to pass my written test and all that
but
bullshit
you're
first.
still gonna
But
have money that you have to pay every month, right?
yeah,
Cause you
but
know, if
not
you look at the interest on that shit, like I be like, bro, I be wishing I get myself in a better place financially. If you look at the interest, you buying a $4,000 car and you paying $7,000 over 3 years. You spending $3,000 more than if you would have bought that car outright for cash. Like you gotta think about stuff like that. When you doing car shopping,
so
look at how much the car costs and compare that to your estimated monthly payments. And sometimes they give you like a 3 to 5 year, like car. What is it? It's not called a lease, right? Car
yeah,
payments. So I'm like, all of that stuff needs to be taken into consideration. And then my sister, she actually recently bought a car, and I was sat down with her, and I was like, "Look at this," and I did the math, and I showed her, and she still wanted to get the car anyway. And then it's really like it's like $300 or $400 a month. I'm like, I pay $300 and $400, $500 a month in childcare fees. I ain't got that for a car note. Now, if I ain't had no kids, maybe.
that's the thing. I don't have any kids, but I actually thought a car can pay for itself, especially people who do DoorDash or drive Lyft. Like, if I'm going to take a car as another bill, then I need to do something
You're gonna
else
do something to make money with
to
it. But
pay for it.
honestly,
Yeah,
but you
I'm
know,
really
it's like
going to
we
focus on
shouldn't be. But let me tell you, we shouldn't be living to where we gotta work, 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 and bust our ass just to get money. There's like money comes way more easier, way more easier. Like I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do until you can do better. But bro, I be wanting to. I can't like. That's what I'm saying. Like I personally wouldn't sign myself up for a car payment. I'd rather buy the car outright. Just buy the car outright because it makes more sense. Even when it comes down to student loans, the freaking interest on that. Oh, speaking of student loans, do you have student loans? Well, you're in school, but do you have anything with Nelnet or Great Lakes?
no.
Okay, so basically, because I graduated college already, I have loans in my servicer. It was at first it was Great Lakes, but then they switched it over to Nelnet. But there was an article that I came across today that says that Nelnet and Great Lakes they will no longer service the federal student loans. That's
What?
crazy. Yeah, you ever heard of them though before?
No, I've never heard of them.
You never heard of Nelnet or Great Lakes? But they're basically, well, that's, I know of Nelnet simply because they do my student loans. But that's crazy though. I'm like, and the companies that they're going to be picking up though to service their student loans, it's companies that are like LLCs, And I'm like, I don't know if Nelnet was just a regular LLC, but a lot of the times the LLCs are like I have a LLC, like a lot of independent business. I don't really know. I think anybody could probably have LLC, but I thought that they was, partnered with the government. So to hear that they were going to be changing the servicer, like that was interesting. But anyways, well, when you think about your student loans interest, it's like ridiculously high,
Yeah.
like ridiculous. That's why people graduate at like in their 20s and they be paying their student loans to their like in their 50s and 60s to retirement, basically.
Mm-hmm. But that's why we want to get Nancy Pelosi up in there so she could do that student loan forgiveness.
Yeah, but they told me, I think they said student loans are forgiven 20 years after, or 30 years after you started making payments on them.
So let's get to the last subject.
Oh yeah, you're taking over that.
The last thing. Okay, so have you been caught in any job scams before?
You said if I what?
Been caught in any job scams before?
Have I been caught in any job scams? Luckily no, but it's crazy because my daughter's father, he used to work for this company called Vector. Now, Vector actually used to sell stuff.
Girl,
You ever heard
that's
of
the
Vector?
first one that I encountered. And they
But
call
how was
themselves
it
not
a scam?
they call themselves not trying to hire me because you actually do the work, you sell whatever you need to sell, but you don't get your money. I heard a lot of people not getting their money. And then the guy who interviewed me for Vector Marketing, it was called Vector Marketing back then. Remember the newspaper going around Charlotte called the Slammer? It shows people who got arrested for the week.
I remember that.
He was
Uh-huh.
in the Slammer. He was in the Slammer for
Mm.
not paying cab fare. Brian Hurlman, that was his
Mm.
name. Brian Hurlman for Vector Marketing.
But that was crazy. But what happened with Vector, right? But what happened with Vector is my daughter father, he used to actually do it, and we didn't have no scamming issues or anything like that. But what ended up happening was I came across an article shortly after where this girl said that somebody solicited her for a job interview, and they put Vector as the company name. But what they were doing was they was raping and stuff like females that would come for the interviews. So I was
No,
like, that was crazy. They were using a real company name and doing that foul crap. Yep. But this
no.
was years ago. So that's why when you said like scams, I was like, that's the only time I know of anybody scamming. But that wasn't Vector. That was some
Yeah,
evil
girl, I
mouth.
went and interviewed like 10 years ago. This was right after my mom passed away and I needed a better paying job. And I went and interviewed and he was like, you're gonna be going door to door. And he sent me out of the interview because I didn't have a car. I was like, well, fuck you then. I don't wanna, walk door to door and sell your bullshit anyway. So I was like, well, fuck y'all. And then I saw a couple of months later he got arrested. I'm like, y'all not making no money anyway. You're not paying your cab fare, bitch.
That's
So
crazy.
I asked the job scam question because I think this might be a scam, and I've been in something like this before, but hopefully this isn't because I really need the fucking money. So these emails came into my school email, and I'm thinking the school email was sending out external emails to students who were looking for outside work or whatever. So the email that I got was I got a couple. So I replied to the guy. It was a personal assistant work from home position. And I just told him a little bit about myself or whatever. And then he messaged me back. He says, hello, how are you doing today? Thanks for showing interest in this position. I am currently outside the United States at the moment. I am in Canada for 3 weeks on a research and development course. I am currently looking for a personal assistant in all caps. He missed the space when he was typing his email. I am looking for
Hmm.
someone who can handle my business and personal errands for me in her free time. This position is flexible and can be done from home. Duties: collection of my commissions, booking appointments with my clients, handling, monitoring some of my financial activities, receiving my monthly memo from my associates, mail services, receive my mails and drop them off at United States Postal Service, USPS, keeping records and receiving books. Your basic wage will be $400 per week. I will provide a clear set of instructions for each task I need done, as well as the funds to cover them. You'll be working 2 or 3 days for a total of 6 to 8 hours a week, anytime between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. I want somebody who can head start with things as soon as possible. I have a palette of work and a number of unattended chores, but I need somebody reliable who can immediately assist me. And I hope we can meet up with the workload eventually. This is only an introductory message, That in quotes, as time goes on, I should be able to arrange proper meeting and think things started officially when I get back from my trip. The primary assignment, if you are finally chosen as my personal assistant, would be to purchase some of the books I would need for my research work, and I will provide the list of books. Please complete your application form required below. And the only application form that he has is your full name, your mailing address, and your mobile phone number. And I'm looking at the grammatical errors in this email. He says, Dr. Michael Moore. Now, there's a period.
First of all, I
There's a
think
period.
travel to Canada is restricted until July 31st, so I don't know what he's talking about. I think
Okay,
that's
so
probably a scam.
yeah.
Like,
So here's the next email he sent. I really appreciate your response to my offer. Firstly, I want to inform you that some books will be delivered to your address in 2 weeks. Let me know if you will be able to receive these books for me. These books are for my ongoing research. He didn't say what he was researching. Let me know if you'll be able to receive books for me. These books are for my ongoing research. All you have to do is receive the books via USPS and keep them in a very clean, safe place. I will inform you of how to send it across to me. Now you're
did
sending
you
it
ever
off.
ask them for a number to call? Because I wouldn't be comfortable just emailing somebody. I'm like, let me call
He
you, let's
texted
talk.
me. He texted me. He texted me.
Mm,
He texted
I would say at the end of the day, it's like if you are comfortable with giving that information, like if you have a P.O. box, I would say give them your P.O. box. But if you don't have a P.O. box, I wouldn't say give them your personal address because you don't know who that is. But
true.
getting a P.O. box is hard. Well, then again, you have an apartment too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe it's not that bad if you give him the address but no apartment number, because I'm sure if you might still get the package, right? If they know
Yeah.
your name.
But my leasing office is closed because of the COVID. So getting packages at the leasing office. You see, it's iffy there. It goes on to say more so you will be required to make payment for the books and pay some bills on my behalf to complete these tasks. I will send you the payment and take care of it. I will give you details on how to make the
Nah, you
payment.
know what I know with those people? They will send you money and then you put the check in your account and then your bank honors it for a little while and the next a couple weeks later they'll be like that thing was rejected or reversed. That's why I don't trust it. Like I
Yeah,
would say like if he's sending a payment, like only thing I trust is stuff like PayPal because PayPal is protected or Zelle bank transfers because you know with Zelle once you send that money it's like you can't get it back.
and I have Zelle with my Discover account.
So you need to
So,
ask them if you could do Zelle bank payments as your form of method. If they try to give you a hard time with that, then it's probably a scam.
and he
Because I
said that
remember this lady.
he was going to send 3450 through $3,450. Please have it deposited into your account as soon as you have it through your mobile banking app or ATM so the funds can be available within 24 hours and the bank
Exactly.
processes the check. Kindly let me know if you receive and have it deposited into your bank. You will have to do that. Okay, so if
You
that
need to
was
respond and say send a check and then tell them well no because like I said I had a situation like that. They basically was saying they needed help and then they sent the check and I had really got a check in the mail. I was like no, I'm not even doing it. It makes no sense because it's like if they can't do a Zelle bank transfer, I wouldn't do it.
exactly, so that was the first one I received. The next one was about a dog sitting. Mind you, this was a dog sitting position, and I don't have anybody's address. The dogs are supposed to be sent because these people are moving in from out of state, and I don't have anything except for. So I just went through the back and forth, the preliminaries or whatever. So she said, so I missed her email. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just now applying. I just now saw your email. I'm still available and interested in dog sitting. I thought these people were in Charlotte, North Carolina. She sends me an email saying, we'd be glad to have you look after our babies as we help to get the best care for them. You don't know me from 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 what the fuck, but you'd be
Mm-hmm.
glad to me to take care of your dogs. You know how white folks think their dogs are family,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna send your dogs to a complete stranger. and have them take
Hmm.
care of them.
And why do you even have to send your dog? It makes more sense to find somebody locally to watch your dogs. But when they're soliciting people in different states, they're more than likely it's a scam.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll instruct the realtor to mail the keys to the house to the next full address once you finish the plumbing. Once they finish the plumbing fitted, so to help us necessary preparations before our arrival. Like I said, we are willing to pay $35 an hour for both dogs for the first week, and we'll pay $350 because of the other stuff you'll be helping us out with. We hope that's okay with you. We want you. And it was the same thing. Just send your information so we can make a check out for the payment.
And then when you send the check, that like it's gonna be them saying, "Oh, well, you need to send this money."
Exactly.
I
So
always say don't trust
um,
her.
I was going to report this to the school IT, but also I was going to go to the police department. And if I do receive a check in my mail, because I did check my mail today, if I do receive a check, I was going to take it to the police department and see if the check was fake or not. Because, we have a fraud department and everything like that. So we'll have an update next week.
Yes, see, I know sometimes you can even call the bank or you can even go to like Walmart too. I think that's what I did. When they sent the check, I went to Walmart with it instead of trying to put it in my bank account because the banks honor it. So I went to
Uh-huh.
Walmart to try to cash it and it wasn't cashable. So that's how I knew if I put this in my bank account, the bank is going to say, okay, we're going to clear a certain amount of funds because that's how the banks do. But then after like a couple of business days, it gets, bounced. And then now
Hmm.
you won't be in the negatives. So definitely don't do
I
that.
mean, I have a few bank accounts. I mean, I can cash that motherfucker.
Yeah, let them know. I would say if they, like I said, the only thing I trust is the Zelle bank transfers because in order for them to even transfer money, they have to secure and authenticate the account, using whatever contact method. Like anytime I'm adding a new Zelle recipient, they text me and, say use this, type in the code and all of that. So if they can get through with Zelle, all of that, even if the money is no good, you have no knowledge of that because Zelle is supposed to be secure. Now, if you do a bad check, ain't nothing you can do about it because checks are iffy, you know? You can make the payment
Oh, and
now.
here's the last one from UNICEF. UNICEF is a legitimate company, but okay. So, hi, applicant. Thanks for showing interest in this position. My name is Tony Gordon. I'm your hiring and instruction specialist with the UNICEF Emergency Relief Program for the Needy. Okay. So this program makes use of volunteers to work for us as a result. We are in the process to hire volunteers as we expand our donation network, as we have more donors who are willing to make charity for orphanage homes. This doesn't even sound like some old, some girl. If you would like to start immediately, you accept this offer. We have a load of pending workload we need to get on with. A check will be sent to you with the youth funds. Girl, when I saw this shit, so everybody's sending checks in the mail to people who they don't know.
I'm reading what the UNICEF thing is now.
Yeah, I Googled that shit too.
It's basically a United Nations International Children's Fund. Basically, this is they hiring you as a volunteer. Normally, a volunteer works for free. So that's the part that threw me off, where they're saying they want you as a volunteer, but they're paying you. Normally, volunteers don't get paid, but hey.
So I didn't even email him back. So I'm waiting for an actual check to actually come to see what I can do with it. If I and I can take it to the police station, and if anything happens, um, then they have a fraud department to see if it's legible or not. I mean, hopefully if they let me keep the check, then I'll still cash it, and then I'll put them on blast. Be like, I took this to my police department, and girl, I got some bills that are late.
No, but what you call
Woo!
it? But like if it's a situation where I don't think the police could tell you. I think you have to go to a check cashing place, and when you try to cash the check at the check cashing place, they're gonna tell you if there's an issue. I would say try to cash it first. And if you try to cash it, you can explain to them. And they see, like when my situation, they didn't question me. I went to Walmart, and they was like, they was like, the error message they were getting is not allowing for them to cash it. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it must be fraud. So don't
That's
even
why
go to
it's
the police.
easier. Yeah, that's why it's easier to cash it through your bank mobile app. Because if your name is on a check and if it looks like a check, and all you're doing is taking a picture of it, you're not scanning it the way the check cashing places are scanning checks to see if it's real. So,
Right.
yeah,
So, yep, just go to the check cashing place, and if they let you cash it, then you hit them up like, "What you need me to do now?" Because now
exactly,
you got the money in cash, and you don't
exactly.
have to worry about nothing bouncing. But I don't know. I think it sounds scam-like, but like I said, you really never know. We in 2020, anything is possible.
Shit. Yeah, I'm not putting myself in a position where somebody had to bail me out of jail and then they can't afford to bail me out of jail and then I'm just
You
sitting
can't
in
go to
there
jail for that because you have
and
your
my
email
pussy
proof
is
that it
being
was
blown
a.
through by some butch ass female. So hell no.
Ah.
So some eating ain't cheating. So fuck that. No, hell no.
But like I said, do your thing. Hopefully it is legit, but it just sounds scam-like.
It
But
does
you
sound
never
scam
know.
like. Especially if I have two other emails that sound exactly the same.
Exactly. But yep. Anyways, that was all we have for tonight, right?
Yep, that was it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Peaches and Dream with this
Woo!
on
We'll
this
be back
Thursday
next week
evening.
with all
It's
my
late.
scam updates.
This thing is so weird.
Oh, I think I have to end it. I'm sorry. I have to end it. So we'll see y'all next week. Be blessed.
Bye.
Bye.